Hello there, my name is Marloes Spekman. I'm a postdoc researcher at San Quinn in the Netherlands. And today I'm here to present some of our initial findings from our studies with regard to the experiences of donors at the first Dutch powerbank or plasma-only donation center. And I'm happy to be talking here for the Donor Research Network Symposium series. So a bit of background about plasma collection in the Netherlands. There's two main sources of plasma that are offered for fractionation and for the so to create plasma-derived medication. First of all, we can recover plasma from whole blood donation, so donors donate whole components of their blood, and then in the processing, components are separated and plasma is collected separately. However, our main source of collecting plasma is by plasmapheresis procedures. So donors donate blood components, and then in the machine, only the plasma is taken out and the rest of the components are returned to the donor. And because this is physically less demanding for donors, donors can do this up to once every 2 weeks, so up to 26 times per year. And as you can imagine, the yield for plasmapheresis procedures is much higher compared to whole blood donation. So how do we recruit plasma donors? Well, historically, we've relied on asking whole blood donors to convert to plasma, specifically rhesus positive blood types, since rhesus positive blood types are often in lower demand for red cells, because they cannot be used on all patients. So many of these donors have been asked to convert to plasmapheresis procedures. However, we're still in short supply, not collecting enough, not meeting self-sufficiency in terms of demand for IVIG. So we've been looking into, in recent years, we've been looking into recruiting donors directly for a plasma donor career. And one of the initiatives here is the powerbank, the plasma-only donation center. So to get an idea of the blood collection in the Netherlands, and specifically plasma collection in the Netherlands, there's 40 plus donation sites in the Netherlands where donors can go to donate plasma. All of these are fixed donation sites, and in 2021 over 330,000 plasma donations had been made by over 70,000 plasma donors. And today I'm specifically talking about the area of Utrecht in the middle of the Netherlands, and there's two donation sites there. One of them is the powerbank, and these two donation sites together, they account for approximately 5,000 plasma donors. So these two donation centers in Utrecht, just to give you an idea of what is the powerbank and how does it relate to other donation centers. Well, the other donation center in Utrecht is Utrecht Uithof. And like many other donation centers, it is located inside a hospital building. Often they are in or near hospital buildings. The powerbank, however, is deliberately located inside a shopping mall. At Utrecht Uithof, donors can go to donate plasma, whole blood, and even platelets, while at the powerbank, donors can only go there to donate plasma. And at Uithof, as I already mentioned, traditionally donors were asked to convert to plasma if they had been a whole blood donor for a while, while at the powerbank we also try to recruit donors directly for a plasma donor career. And then at Utrecht Uithof, the location inside of the building has quite a medical look. It looks similar to a hospital building from the inside, while the powerbank has a much more modern look and feel compared to these traditional donation centers. And I will show you more pictures in the next slide. So what does the powerbank really aim to do, and how does it do that? They want to offer a cost-efficient process So not only like make the process more efficient for the donor, so that the donor feels welcome, but also by focusing only on plasma, the idea is that by collecting much more plasma, the price per unit goes down. So really want to have a cost-efficient process. And to do so, the power bank needs a frequent loyal donor pool. So a group of donors that donate often and keep coming back for donation. So how do they want to achieve this? Well, one of the things is that they want to really provide a warm and welcoming atmosphere. So as you can see, look and feel is quite modern and not so much medical and hospital-like. Also, hospitality is an important factor at the power bank. For instance, there's a hostess that welcomes people when they come into the building, and then the hostess really guides you through the process. And there's often also volunteers that make sure that donors always have enough to eat, to drink, to read, etc. The power bank also has a unique, for the Netherlands at least, a unique loyalty program. At other donation centers in the Netherlands, donors get get a small gift or token of appreciation every so many donations, successful donations, while at the power bank, donors can register for donor drops loyalty program. And then for each plasma donation they make, they get a certain amount of points. And for a certain milestone donations, for instance, they get additional points. And if they have accumulated enough points, they can redeem them for gifts differing from a gift card to buy a book or a bunch of flowers to a full health checkup, a yoga sessions, or wireless earbuds, for instance. And of course, the idea at the power bank is that there's really a streamlined process throughout the center. So donors come in and they immediately go into the flow with the process. So our question here was, how do donors really experience the power bank? So to study this, we held qualitative focus groups with using 6 online sessions due to COVID. And we talked to approximately 3 to 7 participants per session. And in total, there were 32 donors in our sessions, and all of them had started their donor careers as whole blood donors and were asked to convert to plasmapheresis somewhere during their donor career. And all of them had transferred from a different donation center to the power bank. And they had been, the other donation center is now a whole blood only donation center. So all of them were asked if they wanted to convert or transfer to the power bank when this donation center stopped collecting plasma. And at these 32 donors, 11 were women and 21 were men. So with regards to analysis, this is, as I already mentioned, I'm presenting here some preliminary results as this is work in progress. We've already transcribed all of the focus group sessions, and I'm currently in the process of coding all of the sessions. And for this, I'm using reflexive thematic analysis as described by Brown and Clark in their recent book, which is a really good book. So what I'm presenting here are some preliminary ideas of teams that I've been working on based on the coding I've been doing, but this is not by far our final conclusion or whatever. So take this with a grain of salt. So for instance, donors talked about familiarity of plasma. So they also related that to the visibility of the power bank. So they said, I like that the power bank is now more visible because it's in a shopping mall. However, if you don't know what plasma is, many people know blood, but they don't know plasma. So if you don't know what plasma is it really helpful that there's a visible location? So as this one donor said, the only disadvantage of the power bank is that you are really there for plasma. Then you already need to know what plasma is, and this may raise the threshold. Donors also said, had remarks about the name power bank. So as this one donor said, I think the name power bank is difficult. The Sanquin logo is also barely visible. I never understood the name. So there had some different connotations with the term power bank. When we talked about the location of the power bank, many donors remarked about made remarks about neighborhood, or that the fact that the location was relatively hard to find, at least the first time, and now that they knew what they were looking for, it was better. And in terms of neighborhood, some donors, particularly female donors, indicated that they felt a bit unsafe in the area, especially at nights. However, donors also said that they really liked how accessible the location is. So as this one donor said, it makes it a bit more normal in that it's just something you can do. It's just one of the stores between other stores where you go. This makes it more accessible, I think. And in terms of accessibility, one donor in a wheelchair also mentioned that the location is very accessible to her as well. So with regard to the process, donors also had a lot of remarks. Many donors said that they liked how efficient everything is, and that they now had to wait less compared to the previous donation center, where there were always also whole blood donors. However, donors did not agree on whether the lower waiting times were caused by the process being more efficient, or the fact that there was just less donors there due to COVID. And donors also indicated that the new process at the power bank, they liked how it's more donor-centered. So this one donor said, when I'm there, I can always go to the booth immediately and fill out the form, and it's done on site. The process is now reversed. The donor physician comes to you instead of the other way around. So donors did really remark a difference in the process. One of the other things that was changed compared to their previous donation center is that hemoglobin is now measured after the donation. So instead of a finger prick before the donation, it is now measured from the leftovers from the donation after the donation. However, there were some miscommunications about this from the donor perspective. So this one donor said, I was told that it isn't measured anymore. So yeah, that's what they said when I came to the power bank. And there were quite a few donors that thought that hemoglobin is not measured anymore at all. Well, in fact, it is measured, but not communicated clearly unless it's too low. It falls below threshold, so that donors need to be deferred. And many donors indicated, well, I'm really not missing this finger prick to measure my hemoglobin. So this one donor said that you don't have to prick your finger is an advantage. I always found that more annoying than the donation. When we talked about the atmosphere at the location, at the power bank, many donors said that they liked the less clinical look of the location. Only a few older donors really said that they missed a sense of medical urgency. And then this relatively young man, 32 years old, he remarked, maybe it's a generational thing, but I like the interior better. It's less hospital-like. And I think that it is also meant to attract a different audience. So, and that is, I think, a very apt summary of how the power bank was decorated to begin with. And all of the donors said that they always felt welcome. Everyone, the atmosphere was welcoming. All the personnel really welcomed them, and everyone is very grateful for them coming there. And food and drinks are also always perfectly arranged. So this one female donor said, this hostess is always so kind and thoughtful. She knows exactly when you are ready for your second cup of coffee. And finally, we also talked about incentives, especially with regard to the donor dropples loyalty program. So even though we did not, as researchers, did not talk about payment of donors, we're in a voluntary non-remunerated system, many donors immediately said, if we're going to pay donors, then I'm going to stop donating. So as this woman said, I'd rather have a closed system of people that donate out of free will and with proper monitoring and without cash. Donors said often that they don't really need the incentives, but they appreciate the gesture, and they like how they feel appreciated via these incentives. And donors also indicated that they really like that there's now a choice in the donor totals system. So as this one man said, and then they got you something, but maybe a bit less fun. I like this system better. I have indeed not redeemed any points yet because I'm saving up for the earbuds. So donors can choose themselves whether they want something small or something bigger, and when to redeem it. So it's more agency for the donor himself. So some preliminary conclusions from this. As we saw, donors experienced the powerbank quite positively. They felt welcome, they felt it was efficient, and they also liked how visible it is, although there's also some points that could be better, of course. From our initial findings, we had the idea that that the loyalty program may indeed support retention of these donors. Yet communication and engagement remain crucial, as we saw from the hemoglobin measurement being changed. If you want your donors to stick around, you have to make sure that they know what's happening, why it's happening, etc. And with that, I'd like to end this presentation. If you have any questions, please send me an email or connect with me on Twitter or LinkedIn. And finally, I'd like to thank the Donor Research Network for hosting this symposium series. Thank you, and hopefully see you in the future. Bye-bye.